The Thunder a little more whole tonight. Carmelo Anthony and this guy, Russell Westbrook, both back in the lineup. That's if Russ emerges from the woods from this hunting expedition, whatever he's dressed for tonight. Tonight, OKC gets a look at the Cavaliers' new roster, which had the team looking rejuvenated Sunday in Boston. This guy's still pretty good as well. It's game one of a players-only doubleheader tonight on TNT. Hey, everybody, it's game time here to keep you company in the interim until that one tips. That's David Griffin right there. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you along with us. Cavs shook up the league at the trade deadline on Thursday, dealing away 6 players to bring back 4. And by the looks of things, they shook up their season as well. Sunday, they played with vim and vigor in a 22-point victory over the Celtics. With the 4 new additions, George Hill, Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, and Larry Nance Jr. combining for 49 points. LeBron James was good as well. He had 24, 8 boards, and 10 assists. Just before game time at OKC, our Dennis Scott caught up with George Hill.
Okay, guys. Okay, G. A week or so ago, you're probably preparing for the summertime. Now you're preparing for a ring. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's a blessing. You know, I wake up every morning not thinking it's true, but it is. And, you know, I got to take advantage of the new opportunity and have fun doing it.
And coming to a game like tonight, going against a guy like Russell Westbrook, how do you prepare to try to slow him down a little bit?
I mean, it's nothing that you can do individually. You know, it's going to take a team effort. You know, all of us got to be on the same page, you know, loading up in transition and just having fun out there.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Here are the new faces in Cleveland. I mentioned the 49 points, a little extra energy, a little extra buzz with the roster as well.
Yeah, so I think what's exciting about this situation is you can see how rejuvenated they are as a group. It's been amazing to watch their last 3 games, so going back to the game before the trade, they just had a totally different feel to them in terms of their energy level. And these 4 guys give them versatility. They give them athleticism they didn't have. They give them more shooting. Really, really a good fit for what they have on that roster.
All right, let's bring in Grant Hill on the TNT broadcast tonight with TV's Brent Barry, Derek Fisher, and 3D. Grant, are the Cavaliers as happy about the new roster as they appeared on Sunday?
Yeah, they are very happy, Matt, and we had a chance to visit with Ty Lue before the game, and you know, he walked in the coaches meeting as happy as I've seen him probably since he won the championship a year and a half ago with that great team. And we obviously did a players-only game 2 weeks before, and it was not the case. The spirit was not there, the energy was not there. They feel good. They feel that they've made the right moves. They've injected the team with some youth. They have guys that can play multiple positions. And you know, there's a sense of, okay, now we have a chance. And from talking to some of the coaches here, they almost felt that if they didn't make a trade, the idea, forget about the finals and even maybe forget about the Eastern Conference Finals. This team, as it was prior, was just not capable for whatever reason. But there's a feeling of optimism here, and it'd be great for them to get a win here on the road in Oklahoma City going into the break, and coming out of the break, get some momentum with 6 of their 7 games at home.
Well, you and Griff just both mentioned a couple of the new attributes that these pieces bring, the athleticism. They're a younger team, maybe a little more versatile. How do the Cavaliers think they've improved the most?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing really is the spirit and energy. I mean, I was at the Hawks game Friday night, and they didn't have their players. They were waiting on their physicals, and you could see it then. In layup line, you could see how they moved the ball. Obviously, the Hawks aren't the caliber of team of OKC, but you could see it then. But you're bringing in some young players who have energy, who have spirit, and most importantly, they want to be here in Cleveland. You know, Rodney Hood had a look last year. In the playoffs, had a couple series there with Utah. You know, George Hill was out there in Sacramento. Obviously, a tough year for him, for someone who's been in many playoff battles. And then you have Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr., who've had no playoff experience. So now for them to essentially be saved and brought to this environment and brought to this team, you know, they've injected life. Some spirit, and they're the kind of role players that fit in with exactly what this Cleveland team needs. You know, it's funny, we were talking earlier in our production meeting, you know, and this is no knock on Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, and Isaiah Thomas, but, you know, they were superstars. They've been stars. And sometimes when you come in as a star, you expect to be a certain way. these new guys, they're not on that level, but they're very good. They're very complementary to this team and what they need. And so there's just, like I said, a feeling of optimism that now we have a chance to really, be the team and maximize our potential. And you feel it when you go near the Cavs locker room.
Grant, you talked a little bit about the coaches and them mentioning that they felt like if they didn't do something, they were really in trouble. What Kobe Altman did here really was bring about the resurgence of a rejuvenated LeBron James as well, and he just dictates outcome. What have they told you about that and how impactful that's been?
Well, first of all, Kobe learned well, Griff, and obviously learned from the best. But no, I mean, the most important thing is LeBron's engaged. And, I think when you think about this team here, the team that we're playing tonight, Oklahoma City, the Cavs, that is, last time they played, Oklahoma City scored 148 in Cleveland, and LeBron had a very pedestrian game. But you've seen it, the last 3 games. He's back, he's engaged, he's energized, he's having fun. And, you didn't see that 2 weeks ago, or really for the last month from LeBron James. And so he's almost back to being himself. He has that spirit about him. So he's more than anything been rejuvenated by this. And that certainly goes well, for the Cavs in this season. And so, as long as this team, and obviously they had a great game against Boston and everything clicked, but they're still learning each other and understanding roles. We talked to Ty Lue. He said, look, guys made mistakes, but because they were playing hard, you were able to overcome those mistakes. But as LeBron James, Ty Lue, the veterans on this team continue to work with these young guys, I think there's a lot of potential for this team as they move forward.
All right, let's talk about OKC. And Grant, this team has been all over the place. Twice they've had winning streaks of a half dozen or more. 4 different times they've lost 3 or more games in a row. Very good against the top teams in each conference. Fairly pedestrian against the worst teams in each conference so far. So make of that what you will. In terms of the lineup, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony are both back tonight. But Andre Robertson is obviously out of the season. They're 3-5 since he went down with the knee injury. And they've started 3 different players in his place. Where does the search for the right starter and rotation end?
Well, inconsistency has been the problem here with this team. Back in, late December, they started playing good basketball. I think they won 12 out of 15 games. Had a couple of injuries here, guys out, lost some momentum. And obviously, like you said, losing Robertson has been huge. And so for now, moving forward, Billy Donovan talked about Jeremy Grant and someone having to step up. He has good length. He's learning to play with these guys. He's pretty effective in terms of scoring in the paint, but they're going to need his versatility to step in and be huge. And they like what he's done thus far, and they like his potential moving forward. But it's a tough stretch. It doesn't get easier for them as they get back from the break. 6 out of their next 7 are on the road. They're kind of limping into the break right now, but it'd be nice for them to get a good win against a suddenly hot Cleveland Cavs team before the All-Star break.
I look forward to it tonight, Grant. Thank you so much, and thanks to the band as well for participating tonight here on Game Time.
Everywhere I go, I have a band with me.
You see, most people don't know that about you. I knew that. All right, we'll talk to you soon. All right, Grant Hill with us here on Game Time. Much more coming up here, including Spurs. Who's playing, who's not playing, what's missing in San Antonio.